Welcome to night class once again. Today we're doing lesson 6.6 for you guys at home. It's pretty simple. Decide whether each sequence is arithmetic, geometric, or neither. Explain your reasoning. So before we do these, let's talk about it. What's arithmetic mean? Do y'all have any idea what an arithmetic sequence is? It adds or subtracts to get the next number, okay? Geometric is multiplying or dividing to get the next number, okay? Now they actually don't use the word subtract, okay? You would be adding a negative. Just like they actually don't use the word divide, you would be multiplying by a fraction, okay? So like 1/4, you'd multiply by 1/4, that's like dividing by 4. Everybody understand that? Okay? So, and neither means you're not doing either one of those things, okay? So, A, 120, 60, 30, 15. What's happening every time? They're dividing by 2, so it is geometric. Okay? And your explanation could be either multiplying by what? Or you could divide by 2. I would take that. But just know that on the ACT or something, it's not going to say that.
So what do you prefer? Dividing?
Multiplying by 1/2 is what the appropriate thing. Okay? All right? Is B arithmetic?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, it's not.
2 plus what? 2 plus 4, it would be 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. So we are adding, but are we adding the same thing every time? No. So this one is neither. Okay? Neither. Any questions on those two? Pretty simple? No?
I do.
You do. Everybody good on those two?
Yes.
All right.
Get a paper out.
Let's try a couple more.
Yeah.
How about A there? 8, 24, 72, 216. They are multiplying by 3 every time, so it would be geometric. Okay. And what about the next one? 8, 3, -2, -7. What kind of 5? -5. They are adding -5, so that one is arithmetic. Okay. See, notice how it says the common difference is -5. Okay.
Why did they put 3 over?
Because a ratio, that's a great question. A ratio is a fancy word for fraction. Okay. Okay. So the way you get the common ratio, your R, is you take any of these numbers and you divide by the number in front of it. So like here, 24 divided by 8 reduces to 3 over 1, which is what? 3. So they're just saying it's 3 over 1 or 3. Okay. 72 divided by the number in front of it is 24. That's also 3. 216 divided by the number in front of 216 is 72. That is also 3. So it's only a common ratio if they all have the same ratio, which they do. That's why it's 3. Okay. This one's called the common difference because rather than dividing by the number in front of it, you're actually subtracting. So 3, and they say it's a D, okay, for common difference. 3 minus 8 is -5.
Are we going to have to use?
-2 minus 3 is -5. And -7 minus -2 would also be -5. Are we going to have to use what? Yes, possibly. Okay? You don't actually have to use it, but you did have to find it. That's your explanation as to why it's arithmetic. Okay? Everybody good? All right. Next example. Write the next 3 terms. Make it a little bigger. There we go. The next 3 terms of the geometric sequence. So we know it's what? geometric, which means we know they're multiplying by something to get the next thing. And we just got to find how many of them? The next three. So we would leave off at 24. What are they multiplying by every time? 2. So what's 24 times 2? 48. Multiply that by 2. 96. And multiply that by 2.
192.
192. Done. So basically all you got to do is figure out what are they multiplying by every time. Okay? How about part B?
It's
4.
48. I've been
It's not 4. It's negative 4. And it's negative what actually? 1/4. Because again, we're getting what? We're getting smaller. Okay? This one's getting what?
There's a negative 16 and then there's a negative 1.
Right. 6. That's what I'm saying. If you did get your R, right? Like we talked about, you take whatever the number is and divide it by the number in front of it. So what does that reduce to?
Oh, okay.
Would be negative 1/4. Now I realize you can look at it and probably see that they're dividing by 4 easier than you can multiply. Yes, ma'am.
Can you send Sid Milton to guidance for just a minute?
I sure will.
Thank you.
Yeah, the science kid. I'm gonna change that to math kid. Just saying.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on, Sid. All right.
Synthesize, that's one.
Or, like I said, I just picked this one. I could have done negative 1. What's negative 1 divided by what's the number in front of it?
Negative 1.
No, the number in front of the negative 1 is 4. I get the same answer. Okay? So that's what I'm multiplying by to get the next number. You with me? So you just say negative 1 times negative 4. What is that?
16.
Now, what's negative 1 times negative 1/4?
1/4.
1/4. Okay? Multiply that times negative 1/4 again. Negative 1/16. And multiply that times negative 1/4 again.
164.
Positive 1/64. There is my next 3 answers. Everybody good?
Great.
Okay.
I'm gonna yank this one out
Like
there.
being more.
Everybody got those before I erase them?
That's coming.
All right. Example 3.
What, John? What?
I think they have 4.
Okay. So, this is basically so you know what the graph looks like. Okay.
Do we have to graph it?
You probably won't have to graph it, but I do want you to see what it looks like.
No, so just like
He ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, just kind of.
right, just trying to break it down.
All right. So normally when we graph things, we have what?
Numbers.
What? But what? To be more specific. What do you need to graph something? You need one number,
2.
2 numbers. You need a what?
X and a Y.
And what? That's a what?
A coordinate.
And coordinate for what?
To get a number.
Point. Thank you.
I said that.
You never said point.
Yeah.
I will go back later and on YouTube and see this over again and I'll show you that you didn't say point. Okay? All right, so we need points to graph. All right? Did they give us points?
Mm-hmm.
They did not.
Yeah, make them.
Okay? So we are going to make them. Here's how you make them.
Oh boy.
That first number, that's your what number?
Good point.
That's your first number.
Yep.
So it's 1 and then what? What's the number?
4.
32. Okay?
2, 16.
The next one is my second number is 16.
3.
Third number is 8. Fourth number is 4. And fifth number is 2. Could I keep going if I wanted to?
Yes.
Yeah, but they just gave me that much. Okay? So it says, what do you notice? I guess we should graph it first, but you don't actually have to graph it before you can notice what's happening. It's dividing by 2, which means the numbers are getting what? Smaller. So think about the stuff we've already learned in this chapter. Remember we talked about exponential what?
Growth.
Growth and exponential. So this is decaying, and it's decaying by how much every time? By half. Okay? So obviously, do I have 32?
No.
I don't. So I'm going to count by, I don't know what I can, I guess I could count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. And so I still can't, I didn't quite get to 32, but we'll just guesstimate. So at 1,
Count by 15.
these are 1, 2, 3, 4.
You go by fours.
All right.
Not
So
really anything.
at 1, I'm up here, like, let's see, the next one would be 30, and the next one would be 33. So I'm about right there. Not quite to 33. Okay? Then at 2, I'm at what? 16. That's right above 15. At 3, I'm at 8, which is right below 9. At 4, I'm at 4, which is right above 3. At 5, I'm at 2.
Oh, so it's gonna be
So
like,
you can kind of see
it never hit zero.
the graph. That's exactly right. What's it approaching?
Zero, but it's never gonna
It's never going to get to 0. Okay? Does everybody follow me? Because I can always take half of whatever the number is. Okay? If you half 1, you get a half, right? Well, can you half the half? Yes. And we talked. I used this as an example the other day. If me and you take turns walking towards each other, and I go halfway, and then you go halfway, and then I go halfway, and then you go halfway, will we ever meet? No, because as soon as we do, somebody didn't what? Somebody didn't go halfway. Somebody went all the whole way. Does that make sense? So same thing here. So it is approaching, as you said, it would eventually approach 0, but will it ever get to 0? No, it will not. It looks like it's getting close, but it never quite actually gets there.
So close, so far.
That's a good song. Somebody should make that a song. All right, example 4.
I'm memorizing.
I believe this is, I don't know if we're doing it. Yeah, I think this is the last one we're going to do. And then we're going to do some on your homework. All right. So,
That is a song like
write an equation for the nth term of the geometric sequence. So now we're actually writing the equation. Here is, you need to write this down because you need to memorize it. Okay? For geometric sequences, it's a sub n equals a1 times r to the n minus 1 power.
That's on the desk over there.
Is it? Yeah, on the little, yeah, probably is. Okay? That is a, what type? That is a geometric sequence. Okay? Remember, there is an arithmetic, but this is the one for geometric. Okay? So, you need to memorize this for your test on Wednesday. Okay? Did I say Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it? I keep forgetting this. We're Tuesday already, right?
It's not a Monday.
It's not a Monday.
Sadly.
I wish it wasn't
Well,
Friday.
it felt like Thursday. You are correct.
I wish it wasn't Friday.
That would be great. All right, so
Wish it was summer.
it says write an equation for the nth term. Now understand, when they say a sub n, they're telling you which term they're wanting. Okay? So like this 2, which term is that? What is the 2? We already talked about it when we graphed it. It's which term? It's the first term. So this is A1, okay? 12 would be what?
Second.
The second term, so it's A2. 72 is A3. 432 is A4, and so on and so forth, okay? So N is the number of the term you're talking about. Everybody with me?
Hang on,
Okay? So they want us to find an equation that could find any term. Okay? So all we need is A1 and R. That's the only 2 things you got to know. Do we know A1?
Yes, sir.
What is A1?
2.
6.
A1 is 2. It's the first term. Okay? R. Can we figure out what R is? That's what you were saying, Leighton. What is R? 6. I just say 12 divided by 2, and I get 6. Or I could have done 72 divided by 12, or I could have done 432 divided by 72. Give you a little hint, pick the easier one, okay? So 12 divided by 2 is 6. We have a 1, we have R. Now you can write the equation. So A sub n equals, what's A1? Not everybody at once. 2 times, what's R?
No.
6 to the what power?
First.
Second.
N.
-1.
N what?
-1.
N minus 1 power. Okay? That's the equation. Everybody with me? See. Yes, ma'am. See ya.
Hey, what number is this?
You know,
This
she's
example
been in
4.
every single class that I've
So,
been in.
right here, 2 times 6 to the n minus 1, that's my equation. And then they want me to find what? A sub 10. Well, 10 is my what? What letter is it representing? N. So I just plug it in. A sub 10 is going to be 2 times 6 to the 10 minus 1 power.
For a second, I thought you said 8.
And at this point is where you grab your calculator and you
I'm still
type
trying
in
to copy.
2 parentheses 6 close parentheses.
That's a lot.
It is a big number. 10 minus 1, that's 2. I'm just going to grab the calculator. That is 2, 0, 1, 5, 5, 3, 9, 2.
I can write it in pen. I just realized. Please, Katrina. You're welcome.
Thank you. That's 20,155,392.
I wish I had that type
Okay.
of
Now, let's say you're on the ACT
Jesus.
and it's been a while since you've had this class, or it's been a month and you've already forgotten, whatever it may be, okay? And you can't remember this. Can you still figure out the 10th term?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just going to take you longer. And remember, the ACT is time, so they want you to do it as fast as you can. So it's beneficial to remember this, but if by chance you don't, no big deal. Just keep multiplying by what? 2. Or not 2, but what? 6. Keep multiplying by 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We would need to multiply by 6 more times, and that would give us the 10th number. Does that make sense? Okay? Landon, take that out here, please. All right? But it sure is a lot quicker just to put it in the equation.
Is that what it's
Especially
gonna look like for
every geometric sequence, yes.
So that's just gonna be the ratio.
Yep, you need your first term and your R.
Okay.
And you can write whatever, you can figure out whatever number you want. Okay? If you wanted the 100th term, you could just plug in 100 and you could figure out, if I kept going 100 numbers, what the number would be. Do you think it'd be pretty big?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're already at 20 million and we're just at 10. So if you think about doing that,
Well, Bill Gates.
90 more times,
It'd be crazy.
yeah, it would be crazy. So, everybody good on example 4?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We got another one.
No, we usually don't do this, but I'm going to actually video the work. Okay, so,
We're gonna go to sleep.
no, you're not going to go to sleep.
Silly
Silly boy.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really
I'm
need to
going to
go
pause
to
for
sleep.
a second. We're going to do a few of these from each section. Okay, just doing every third problem. So we're going to do 3 and 6 and 9 and 12 and 16, all the way till 30. Okay, so first 2 says find the common ratio of the geometric sequence. So we just went over it. How do you find the common ratio? You just take one of those numbers and do what with it? Divide it by what? The number what?
2.
I
can't remember.
-1.
No, you subtract.
Oh, by the number in front of it.
By the number in front of it. Okay, so can you start with 4?
Yes.
No, because it doesn't have what? It doesn't have a number in front of it, so you can't start with 4. Okay, so R, here, let me make some space here. That's not why. All right, so number 3 right here. R. I'm gonna, and again, I told you just pick the what?
A number?
Yeah, but which numbers? Because I can pick any of them. Pick the smallest one. So 12 divided by what? 4. What is 12 divided by 4? 3. So my common ratio is
Is it 10?
3. Okay? Any questions? Now 6. Now, can I do 1 divided by 0.1?
No.
I can, but is that the easiest one to do?
Yes.
What's the easiest one to do? What'd you say? Or, even easier, 10 divided by 1. What's 10 divided by 1? 10.
Yeah.
So the R is 10. That's all you have to do on those.
Is that for 6?
Okay, that's for 6. Now, if you did 1 divided by 0.1 in your calculator, what's it going to give you? It's going to give you 10, or 100 divided by 10 will give you 10. So what I want you to understand is if it tells you it's geometric, you don't have to worry about them being the same. They have to be the same if it's geometric. Okay? Everybody good on 3 and 6? All right, let's scoot it up a little bit. Let's go to 9.
Yeah, I will jump you in my
We do not use that word. Very special.
9 and 12. What's it asking us to do?
See, the thing is, geometric or art related?
We are deciding if it's geometric, arithmetic, or neither.
Yeah, arithmetic.
Okay? Explain your reasoning. To explain, you're just going to tell me what your R or what your D is. Okay? Or if it doesn't have one. So, I'm sorry?
No.
You got number 9. Go ahead, Mike.
It's adding by 8, so
It's adding by 8. So that is
Oh, I got to tell you.
arithmetic. Now, a lot of people. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yes.
A lot of people say, "Isn't that arithmetic?" It is. Depending on what you're using it for is how you say it. So if you're using it as an adjective, okay, like this would be an arithmetic sequence because that's telling you what kind of sequence it is. Adjective is arithmetic, noun is arithmetic. Okay, that makes sense? It's just one of those little quirky things in English. It's pronounced different if it's an adjective as opposed to it being a noun.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
just thought I said the first thing that came to
that's fine. I understood what you were saying. Okay, and why is it you got me saying why is it arithmetic? Why is it arithmetic? Because it had a common difference of what? What was its common difference? 8. Okay. All right, Kyler.
Can we, when it's arithmetic, can we just put A-R-I, error, and then
Nope, I'm gonna make you write out all that whole word.
I can't spell. We got a problem.
I know. I'm making you spell a whole. What's that? 9 letters? No, 10 letters. Wow.
You're just
I know. I'm
you're
so
a
mean.
monster.
I'm so mean. All right, 12. Arithmetic, geometric, or neither? Well, first off, are they adding? Do we need to worry about arithmetic?
They're multiple.
They're definitely. Are they adding? No, they're definitely not adding. Okay, so we need to decide: is it geometric? The only way to do that is to try all of them. Okay, so say 3/7 divided by 3/49, and thankfully your calculator makes that pretty easy. Okay, 3/7 divided by 3/49. What'd you get? You got 7. So if this is geometric, I better get 7 for the other 2. Okay? So what is 3 divided by 3/7? It's also 7, and the last one's pretty easy. What's 21 divided by 3? 7. So this is geometric. Okay?
Smart.
And why is it geometric? Because it has a common ratio of what?
7.
Of 7. Everybody good?
Tyler, you have something on.
All right. 15. Right here. Same process, but they've given us the points in a different way. They don't just give us the numbers, they actually give us the points. Okay? So, what's the first number? First number's 2, then 10, then 50, then 250.
Times 5.
So, is that geometric?
Yes.
Yes. 2 times 5 is what?
4.
What's 2 times 5?
10.
10. What's 10 times 5?
50.
50. And what's 50 times 5?
250.
250. So this is geometric,
Yeah.
and it's geometric because R is 5. Okay?
Smoking in the back.
Questions on 15. It was just like 9 and 12, only it was a graph. Okay? Everybody good on 15?
So it's 250 or geometric?
It's geometric and R is 5. 18. What you think? What's my first number?
-3.
-3. Then what? 6.
And then 24. So,
Plus 9.
Can we say geometric?
No. Arithmetic.
It is definitely not geometric.
Plus 5.
Okay?
9.
They added 9, then they did what?
Kept adding 9.
They kept adding 9. Plus 9, plus 9, plus 9. So that means it is arithmetic.
How many ratios?
Is it arith or arithmetic?
Arith. Why? Because the common difference was
you
9.
have to add that,
Okay?
the negative, the plus, and then the negative sign at the bottom.
Negative sign at the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a plus sign and then there's a negative, like a dash.
Not on this one though.
Quit, dude. He's trying to do his work.
Okay? Now, I could have told this without doing what this, because the graphs, okay? We talked about the graphs earlier. I'm going to go back. Look at the graph of this first one we did right here. Look at it. Look what it's doing.
Arithmetic.
See what I'm saying?
Or
If it's doing like that, it's got to be what?
Growing.
Geometric. Okay? Look at this one that was arithmetic. What's it? What kind of graph is it?
Straight up.
It's just a straight what?
Bang.
It's just a straight line. If it's a straight line, it's arithmetic. Okay? So that's a way you can kind of tell them apart by their graphs.
And then
Yes, ma'am. I do. I can.
you really, I just don't like school. You really.
All right. 21.
Oh, you're lucky.
21 says write the next 3 geometric sequences, then graph the sequence. So we're not going to do the graphing part. We're just going to write the next 3. Okay?
Yeah, you do.
So what would be my next 3 on 21 there?
1/3.
What kind of 1/3?
Negative.
It would be negative 1/3 or positive 1/3. It's positive 1/3.
I said that. You didn't hear me.
I did.
Hey, don't be yelling at Coach.
Okay. You said 1/3, and I said what type of 1/3, and you said negative, but it should have been what? Positive. I didn't say you were wrong. I just asked what type of 1/3 it was. Okay. So what's after 1/3?
Yeah, bro. Negative 1.
Negative 1/9.
Yeah, bro. You don't even know.
And then last but not least,
Positive 127.
positive 1/27.
You're dumb.
Okay? Listen, Kyler, all you're got to do, okay? You know what? We messed up.
What did we do wrong, Coach?
That's wrong.
What kind of did wrong?
We,
Alec does a lot of
we
things
skipped
wrong.
one. Let's try this over again.
It says 4 times up there. Can you not? We skipped once. You don't need.
What is my R?
That's a blue.
What is my R? Y'all were saying it earlier. It's not 1/3, but what?
Positive 1/3.
I ain't saying nothing because whatever
It's
comes out.
negative 1/3. Okay? R will always be negative if you're going positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative on your sequence. Okay? Now, we said our first answer was 1/3. That's incorrect. It should be -3 times -1/3. That's what? That's 1. So that should be my first one. Then we got to multiply that times -1/3, and we get what? What's 1 times -1/3?
1.
-1/3. And then we multiply that times -1/3 again, and we get 1/9. So we started our sequence with the wrong number. Okay? All right. How about 24? What is R for 24? How do we get it? We know it's geometric, so we can just pick the easiest one. Well, it's not plus, it's geometric. So we got to be multiplying. What's the easiest way to figure out what we're multiplying by? Which two points or which two numbers are we going to use? 6 and 4. We just need to do 6. What? Divided by 4. Can you reduce that? 3/2. That is my R. So in your calculator, figure out what is 6 times 3/2. It's not that big.
9.
9. So the next number is 9. And then we do 9 times 3/2.
27/2.
27/2. Now, I'm not going to hurt you if you put the decimal, but why would you want to put the fraction there? I'm not, like I said, I'm going to count it. If you happen to put the decimal, I'll count it. But why would it be appropriate to put the fraction? Look at the rest of the problem. They're fractions, okay? Most of the time in math, if the rest of the problem is fractions, they want the answer as a fraction. If the rest of the problem is decimals, they want the answer as a decimal, okay? So that's kind of like the unwritten rule that I go by. Does it say anything about how to write it in the directions, whether it's a fraction or it doesn't, okay? So I'm just going to write it like it is in the rest of the problem, all right? Last but not least, what is 27/2 times 3/2? That'd be my last number that I'm getting. 81/4. Can you reduce 81/4? No, you cannot.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Okay. Any questions on those? Everybody's good? 9, 27/2, 81/4. All right. We got 2 more. Everybody got that before I erase it? Everybody's good? All right. 27 and 30. It says write an equation for the nth term of the geometric sequence, then find a to the 6th, or a sub 6, I should say. It's not a to the 6th. So, somebody tell me, write an equation. What's the formula for the equation of a geometric sequence? That's the one you wrote down in your notes, or should have.
A equals A R N negative.
A what? R.
1.
A1 R to the n minus 1 power. Okay? So which two things do we need to write the equation? A sub what? A sub 1. And we need to know, what's the other thing?
Ratio.
R.
Common ratio.
Okay, the common ratio. We need to know this and this. Okay? So 27. A1, A sub 1 would be what? -1 over what? 8. Okay? Remember, A1 is just the first number that they gave you. All right? To get R, we're going to divide the second one by the first one, or the third one by the second one, or the fourth one by the third one. So which one's the easiest there? They're all kind of difficult. So I'm just going to do the last one here. -1 divided by -1/2. What would that be? -1 divided by -1/2. And the calculator says 2. So R is 2. Okay? 1, -1 divided by -1/2 equals 2. Now we make the equation. So what's the equation? A sub n equals, what is A1? -1/8 times, in parentheses, what's R? 2 to the n minus 1 power. That is my equation.
When you change A, N to 6.
And now I make the 6's, or the n's what? 6, because I'm looking for A sub 6. So A sub 6 equals -1/8 times 2 to the 6 minus 1 power. What'd you get? -4.
Last problem.
Okay? I'm going to hit pause, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to try to do the last one. Okay? All right, we're back. So here's how you should have done it. What's the formula again? A sub n equals what?
-1.
Yes, but before you plug anything in, what's the equation?
A1R N minus.
Why do y'all think I write it down first?
Too small.
No, not at all. To remember it. Exactly right. Okay? If you write it down before you do it, every time, when it comes time to take the test, you'll remember it. Okay? If you don't, you might not. Okay? So, what is A1? What's the first term? So, A sub n equals -192. Figure out what R is. R, we can do any of these things. R is not -4. Okay? I'm going to use these two numbers right here. Which one comes last? 3 divided by the one that's in front of it. -12. That is not -4. That is -1/4. Okay? It's not the same thing. If you multiply something by 4, it gets bigger. If you multiply it by 1/4, it gets what? Smaller. Which is what's happening here. It's getting smaller. Okay? So if you ever say R is a number more than 4, or more than 1, excuse me, but the numbers are getting smaller, R can't be correct. Okay? If the numbers are getting smaller, R has to be less than 1. And I'm not talking about negative, I'm talking about being a fraction. Okay? So, -1/4 goes in our parentheses to the n minus 1 power. So that is the equation. And then what do we do to get
Plug in 6.
A sub 6? We plug in 6. So -192 times -1/4 to the 6 minus 1 power.
3/16.
3/16?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking your word for it.
Hopefully.
Okay? Any questions? Everybody's good? All right, we'll stop the tape. See you next time. Stay above that line. Leighton Kendrick, the one that always says no for some reason.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna,
not. He's
I'm gonna
lying.
make him do up downs until he's above the line.
Nah.
Y'all have a great day.